Okay.
Hey, I'm Orion out here in Oregon with my Uncle Don, Director of Fun. So Don's gonna do a little video for you later. I forget exactly what he's talking about, but so I live out here. I'm just telling you what I like. I love Oregon because beautiful nature out here. I love snowboarding, jumping out of planes, and there's a little bit of everything out here. And I don't know, I like music, so that's all I got.
Hey, real quick, tell them what you play on the guitar.
So I play metal, blues, learning a little bit of country. I like mostly rock, and I've been doing some fingerstyle stuff lately, so everything is music, really.
Sweet. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Stand by, guys. This is going to rock.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm out here at the Great Salt Lake in Utah. You see a little bit of that. That's the Salt Palace. It's got quite a history. Hey, Orion, thanks for the introduction. I sure appreciate it. Hope things are going great up there in the Oregon part of the United States. By the way, if you guys get a chance to listen to this guy play some guitar, you don't want to miss it. So we're going to do some talking. I'm going to move around a little bit about today, but we're going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk about changing course. We're going to talk about alignment with you. Hey, how we doing? All right. So let's talk a little bit about strategy, self-alignment, course altering. Today I had a great conversation with a young lady. Now she was hitting me up with a proposition, a little bit of a pitch, but professionally done. And we had some good communication and exchanged some great conversation. Now she totally believes in what she's doing, and actually she has a good program. The question I had to ask Dawn is, at this time, does that fit into my strategy? Does that fit where I'm trying to go? And it does not. Why? Because I have some focus things going that I need to stay in alignment with. Now, I've often talked before about having to be able to make some course corrections sometimes, but course correction and going out of your strategy are very different things. Let me explain. So a long time ago, I used to do a lot of real estate investing. I'll be getting back to some of that. I was actually practicing what Robert Kiyosaki teaches in his book, The Cash Flow Quadrant. It's one of the best books I've read. If you haven't read it, grab a copy. Big, worth it. So in this book, one of the things that he teaches is a solid principle of taking a business, such as you're probably working already, and grow the income from that business so that you have money coming in so that you can invest that money. Not live off it, not just live off that lifestyle, but invest that money into income producing assets. And when those income producing assets now provide your style of living, cover all the things that you're looking to cover, provide the things that you want to take care of, that's when you truly reach financial freedom. Because as you know, and hopefully you have not experienced, but a lot of folks have, businesses go out of business, right? So if you're with XYZ company and they're selling the best soup on the planet and they change the recipe and you don't like the soup, well, if you stop marketing with them, even though you were getting 3 or 4 or 5 different ways of getting paid from that company, you're not getting paid from that company. Or if the company goes under because it didn't work out too well, or they get shut down, or whatever might happen, and it happens, all of a sudden, you're not getting paid by that company. I don't care how many different ways they pay you, you're still not getting paid. So that can create a problem. Well, if you've taken, and this is what a lot of people make a mistake of, is they'll get this income coming in, and now they're living this lifestyle based on that income, but they're not investing that income. They're not setting it aside to buy income producing assets so that if something changes, if trends change, if your particular area of expertise isn't the going thing down the road and you're starting over in that area, your lifestyle doesn't change. So to get to that point is what I want to talk about. We'll discuss the other parts down the road, but to get to that point is what I want to talk about. What's imperative in your strategy to reach that particular goal, whatever your goal is, and that's what counts. So in that strategy, there's a couple things that you need to look at and observe. Now, just so you know, by the way, I am out here at the Great Salt Lake. You might get a little bit of a view of it out here. As you know, I like to be outdoors when I do things and get some great shots. That's my strategy. My desire for doing business is to be able to have a life that I can control and go places and do things. I don't want to be pinned down because I have to do meetings every day or every week. I don't want to be pinned to the phone. I don't want to be, all this type of stuff. Now, that doesn't mean that it's wrong, and it doesn't mean that it's right. It means that it's mine. Now, in my particular area, I like to work with existing marketers who are usually struggling, as well as some seasoned ones that haven't hit where they want to be in the digital education and marketing world. Teach them through the stuff that we do some better skill sets and some ways of going about things. That's my strategy. That's what I like. Now, in that strategy, I may have 2 or 3 different areas that I have available, so that depending on who I'm talking to and who I'm working with, I can pick or choose the best source, the best way to help that individual grow to achieve their goals. Make sense? Let me give you an example. I used to be in financial services. I've had a pretty varied career. Ran my own financial services group, had a lot of agents that worked for me. Not particularly an industry I care to go back to. But in there, I made sure that I was never what's called a captive agent. I didn't belong to one company and only could sell what they wanted me to sell. I always had my own contracts as an independent, so that when I sat down with somebody and we analyzed what their goals were and what they had and their budgets and all this type of things, I could go out and find the correct product that took care of that particular individual's needs. And everybody wants to push their product, but I wanted to go out and find what was best for them. Well, same thing in business now, as I help people learn how to really market, how to become successful in that area. I do it by choosing which areas or which programs that I might have available, even some that I'm now developing, to help people grow, to get them to that particular area. So John may come to me and I may recommend this program, which may not be as much dollars, it may not be as long, but it's where he needs to start. And Sharon might come over here and get started with me, and we might start on a very high ticket item because that's where Sharon's at. It's not about what you make. It's definitely not about what's best for me. It's about what's going to get them to their goal. Now, is there selfish reasons? Sure. Let's be real. I mean, I want to help people, but if I do it the right way, guess what they're going to do with their friends? Hey, you need to go talk to Don. Oh, you should see what I learned from Don. And we all do it because you had somebody in your life that you look up to or that brought you training, and you're saying, but look what I learned. This is what I got out of it. You might not even be in that particular field anymore, but the skill sets that they taught you are paying off. So when you're lining out your strategy, kind of get back to where we're at, I may have these areas, but I have areas that I stay out of. For instance, now this is Dawn. This has nothing to do with anybody else. This is my strategy. I like being in the digital world. I like being in the educational, the mentoring, the motivational, the skill sets. I don't do health and wellness. Now, I'm not bashing health and wellness. There's lots of good companies and there's some, and everybody's got the best thing. But for me to get involved in that particular arena is going to take me away from what my focus is. Now, we'll talk about multiple streams of income later because, yeah, there are some needs for multiple streams of income, but you can do that by default passively if you've structured your system correctly. But if I get involved over here in something completely alien to my digital area, my online education area, which one is now going to get the attention or the focus? Neither one of them is going to get 100%. So which one is now going to suffer over time? And it's going to happen. So I don't go into those particular areas that stray outside of what my strategy, my defined area is. Doesn't matter how good I think the product is. There's some of them that I'll use, maybe. In fact, I've got one that, my brother and my wife are involved in. It's great. I use it. I don't market it. You have to figure out what your strategy is to get to your financial goal, and you need to stay within that. And you're going to have everybody hitting you up for, well, you know this, from everything to everything. probably heard this described as the shiny object syndrome. Hey, I didn't make any money on this one. I've been in it for 30 days. I didn't get anything, so I'm going to jump over here. Then 60 days later, wow, not making anything. I'm going to jump over here. Didn't stay with the defined structure. You talk to some of these high ups, and it doesn't matter which company, health and wellness or online education or travel, a lot of them, you'll find a lot of folks didn't make any money for quite a while. Usually because they were struggling and learning skill sets to be able to get them started, which I can help you with. But more importantly, they stayed with it and it paid off. The folks that are jumping around and you see them, especially on Facebook, every 60 days, they've got something new. They made a couple of $100, but they're not creating financial wealth because they're not staying with it on a long-term basis. They're not following the strategy. So my context today, my advice to you today, my whole desire for you is to make sure that you've sat down, take the time to write out your strategy, your defined purpose, what you're trying to get to, not only your goal. You know, we all have goals. I can tell you exactly which house I'm out to buy. I can define the vehicle. I'm an off-road kind of guy, so I can define my off-road truck, everything that's going to be on it. To the T, I can do that. What most people can't define is the path that they're going to take from right now to get to that goal. They've got a general idea, they've got a general outlay, but it's always subject to change at a whim or a little bit of defeat, or I didn't get anywhere, or I don't know what I'm doing, or somebody convinces them that this program is better than the one they're with, and so they jump ship and head over here, and then somebody else convinces them that their program's even better, and so they jump ship again, right? Figure out what your strategy is, write it down, and then stay on track with it. Now, you may add things or adjust things within that strategy, such as I do. I have stuff, like I said, on a high end, and I have stuff on a low end, depending on who I'm working with and where they're at financially, where they're at here educationally or motivationally, or a whole lot of other things to come into play as to which way I may go to help that person out and get them to the next level. But I don't stray outside of the industry that I'm servicing. I don't stray outside of that strategy at all. To be the guy on top, to be the gal on top, to get to that point, which I have some friends on here have done, you got to do that. That's just the way it is. So, thoughts for today? Stay on target. Write out your strategy. Don't let all that wind out there, all the things that everybody's saying that's coming into your ears, get you here. Stay on focus. That's my thought for today. I appreciate you standing by. I appreciate you watching. Love to see your comments. Make sure you put some comments down there. Comments are awesome. It creates discussion. And you know what? If this is valuable to you, hopefully it'll be valuable to other people as well in your eyes. And so I would sure love it if you take the time to share this and make sure you follow it or subscribe, depending on which channel you're catching this on. I have more coming for you. This is Don, the Director of Fun, and as you know, I like to be out where the fun is. I'm not sitting in a cubicle. I'm not doing the calls all the time. I'm not doing the meetings all the time. I teach people how to get a lifestyle systematized, which you're welcome to learn about if you have an interest, so that I can go out and play. Y'all have a great day. Till next time.